I think we're always proud when a couple of our native lads go away and become very famous in another country. And I think we can be very proud of these two lads from Oshawa, Ontario, who hit it really big by playing the Palladium in London, England, and touring Europe. Here they are, Authors and Swinson.
After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying you feel blue and you feel sad. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I say how happy we are to be back here in Canada once again. We've been away long enough to realize that there's no country like your own country. You know, we spent 3.5 years in Britain, and the people were really wonderful to us over there. We had the pleasure of playing the London Palladium 3 times, but despite all the good things that happened to us, it hasn't changed us a bit. We're Canadians, and I guess we'll always stay Canadians. And I know my partner will agree with me. I'd like you to meet him. Here he is, Howard Swinson. Come on here, boy.
By Jove, it's good to be back. Absolutely ripping. Smashing, wacko, ripping, yes, ripping.
Howard. What's with this ripping?
Your pants, old man, they're ripping.
Oh, will you please cut it out?
Must be all the weight you've put on.
Will you please keep quiet?
Bent over once too often, I expect.
Shut up!
What's wrong?
What's wrong? I introduce you and say you haven't changed a bit, and you come out here acting like this.
I thought it might add a little class to the act.
Well, it didn't. Now, for heaven's sake, go away. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologize for that. You see, he's not really that bad. He just sort of get... What do you want?
I was wondering if you might have a thumbtack.
A thumbtack?
Yes.
What for?
This darn thumb of mine keeps falling off.
Oh, you're stupid idiot.
Well, I just want to tell these people.
Just shut up.
Well,
I tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, quiet. Shut up. Now, for heaven's sake, act normal. Oh. Will you please stop making a fool out of yourself like this?
Well, what do you want me to do?
I want you to start acting like a gentleman. Now, take off that ridiculous outfit.
All right.
Is that really your hair?
Sure.
It's kind of long, isn't it?
It's even longer on the inside.
It must be cramping your brain. Look, if you want to act like an Englishman, go on off stage and get ready for this next bit.
All righty.
Righty. Well, folks, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about our trip to England. You know, it was quite an experience talking to the average man in the street over there. And just to give you an idea of the sort of conversations we had, we'd like to recreate one of them for you. I was standing on Regent Street one day when a typical Britisher walked by. Oh. Pardon me, sir. I'm from Canada, and I'd like to ask you a few questions about your British way of life, if I may. For instance, do you consider the British really different from the Canadians? Do you get along all right without central heating? Are you happy with the Tory government? Do you enjoy American movies? Do you find the cost of living very high over here? And who's the favorite movie star in England? Well?
We haven't been introduced, you know.
Oh. Terribly sorry, sir. My name is Barry Authors.
How do you do?
How do you do? Well, now that we're introduced, would you mind answering my questions?
Very well, then. No, yes, not entirely. Sometimes yes, no, and Marilyn Monroe.
Well, thank you very much.
Quite.
Now tell me, sir, what do you think of the new commercial television programs in Britain?
Dreadful, absolutely dreadful. The commercials are driving me mad.
Really? Well, what are they like?
Oh, the usual thing. Marching trumpets, dancing oxo cubes, snuff boxes with 20,000 tiny filters. And then, of course, there's that terrible slogan from the Sheffield Cutlery people. Terrible. But really.
The Sheffield Cutlery people? What's their slogan?
How are you fixed for blade?
That would be annoying.
Beastly.
Yes, and tell me, sir, in regards to the British hit parade. Now, back home, everyone's singing 16 tons.
Well, we had that one too, but it goes under a different name here.
Really?
In Britain, we call it 32,000 pounds. Sterling, of course.
Oh, I see, of course. And what else do you have in the hit parade?
Well, there's Clement Attlee's favorite number, Moments to Remember.
Yes?
And, of course, the number one song.
Number one song?
Rock Around Rule Britannia.
I see. You mean a real rock and roll, eh?
I dare say it invites one to tap his toe. But look here, old boy, I've got to be popping off. Fabian of the Yard is waiting for me.
Gee, Fabian of Scotland Yard?
No, Fabian of the Backyard. He's my gardener.
Oh, I see. Well, sir, just before you go, I'd like to say thank you very much for answering all these questions. And you know, I would like to tell you, you have that quality that all we Canadians admire about you British. That wonderful quality to always to be able to keep a stiff upper lip.
Oh, you see, but I have to keep a stiff upper lip.
You do? Why?
Buck teeth, you know.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about our trip to the continent. We had a really wonderful time over there, and you know, 2 or 3 times we had the pleasure of doing our act before German audiences. And you know, we never realized that the Germans would feel so friendly towards us. In fact, many times during the performance, the Germans all stood up and shouted and waved at us. Schweinen! Schweinen! That means encore. Doesn't it?
What about Paris?
Paris.
Gay Paris.
Howard, do you remember the time we spent $20 for those dirty postcards?
Yeah, you think for $20 they could give us clean ones?
Yeah. And then we went back to Germany. Then back to France again. 1 solid year we spent on the continent all by ourselves, with no one to talk to. Nobody but Howard and myself. No one could speak our language. Nobody understood English. We were going crazy. We didn't know what to do. We couldn't wait to get back to where we belonged. So we rushed on a ship and started to sail towards Canada. And then finally, up in the horizon, we saw it. Canada, where people talk like we did. Canada, where people thought like we did. Canada, where people spoke like we did. And at last we rushed down the gangplank, put our feet on Canadian soil, and the first words we heard were...
Bonsoir, monsieur.
It was Quebec. Ladies and gentlemen, now just to say goodnight, we'd like to close with a lovely little song. We hope you're going to enjoy it.
Hey, wait a minute,
This is
wait
a
a
beautiful
minute.
little...
We can't sing.
What do you mean we can't sing? We have to sing to
I
finish.
forgot to join the union.
You forgot to join the
I'm
union?
sorry.
Howard, I told you before.
Well.
Look, quick, there's the lady. Give me $10, quick. The union card. Is that where you keep it?
Yeah.
Here, let me help you. What's it say?
It's on the other shoe.
Oh, Howard, how can you do so many stupid things in one day?
I get up early.
Oh, look, never mind. I'll pay the $10 myself. Oh, miss. There you go. Thank you. There's your union card.
You mean I'm a union man now?
You're a union man.
Oh, boy.
What would you like to say?
When do we strike?
Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. If I had Aladdin's lamp for only a day, I'd make a wish and here's what I'd say. Oh, nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Finer than to be in Carolina in the morning.